Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's segment of readings. Um, this is on James 13 Wicca on YouTube, in case you're not seeing it there. For the main tarot, I'm going to use Wild Reflections Tarot deck by Spell. And there is a website on the back here. I believe it's there, yspell.com. It's in the center over here. There we go. If you're interested. That's what we have for the tarot deck. The oracle cards I'm going to use are Sacred... Okay, can't hold it. Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. It's hard to read it backwards. By Denise Lynn. Where's the websites for Denise? I think it's on the back of the book. So it's at the end of her paragraph where you see her face, that yellowish box. It's at the bottom of it. DeniseLynn.com if you want to check her out. And I also use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool. 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and a 4-sided dice to choose the element. It's from the Dice Shop. The website there is mathartfun.com. I don't know if it's showing up. I don't know if you can see mathart.com. Hopefully you can. mathartfun.com. Alright, that being said, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. That being said, let's get into your reading. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. Of course, these readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? A lot of fun energy, but also like I got a cold chill just now, just as I started your reading, so that's very interesting. Let's see what this is. I saw this. The Ace of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck, so there might be something here that's going to be cementing into your life a lot longer than you expected. It might be the long plan here. Just because it's the long plan does not have to be bad. Does not have to be boring, is what I should have said. Excuse me. Okay. Whatever it is, you're doing really good with it. Because you have positive energy here in the sense of like, you're doing really well with this. And there's certain things you just keep yourself right out of. I feel like this is a Gemini thing, but of course, correct me if I'm wrong. There's certain situations where I feel like they're difficult for you to handle well, so you just avoid them. If you can avoid them, you do. One lady I knew, I feel like she said that there was a certain person that when she got together with this person, she always spilled the beans and it never went well. It never went well. She always spilled the beans and it never went well. So she just stopped hanging out with that person. She did like this person she used to hang out with, but she's like, it just became a problem. So she just stopped letting herself hang out with them. And I feel like Gemini is good with that. Like, if it becomes too much of a problem, I just disconnect myself from the situation. And I got the Ace of Swords with the Magician reversed, kind of like I'm just not going to be a part of it. Even if I like that person, if I know that, it just never goes well for me, I'm just going to stay away. The Solitude with the like putting up this barrier with the 9 of Wands. I feel like you've been really, really good with this. Whatever this is, in the beginning, maybe it took some strength because it's kind of like, well, there's certain aspects of hanging out with this person that I do like, and we do have some fun and we have a lot to chat about, probably a lot more than I should. But I can't seem to do it well without somehow spilling the beans sooner or later, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to be a part of that, and that's just how I'm going to have to handle this. Doing really well with whatever this is. I don't know if that's typically a Gemini trait, but I feel like, you're very chatty. I feel like Geminis can be very chatty at times. So I have known some Geminis, I also want to say, that are very good at like making a conversation really complicated at times, so that when maybe you're spilling the beans, you could kind of clean up after it so that people don't realize you spilled the beans. I thought that was a Gemini trait too, but let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. There's more coming into the same situation. You have been doing well for quite a while, but it's going into the next level, and you've been getting a lot of benefits from this situation. By handling it the way you've been handling it, it's been getting a lot better. The situation has been giving you a lot more. There's been a lot of more, I keep getting a lot more gift giving. Which, if this is a work situation, it may not be like tangible gifts. It may be some other, like, something else. You're being included in things you weren't before, or people are, putting your name out there more than they used to, stuff like that. Can we get a little bit more about what these gifts are? So it's the Page of Fire reversed, and it's the 7 of Major Arcana, which is the Chariot. And it's kind of like partially in, partially out. It's like this, which means it could go better, could go worse. But the Chariot anyway. People are giving you a chance, but there's also, like, I feel like people keep getting you involved in things that they want to slow down, and that you can bring in more information and give people reason to slow down or other things to think about so that they actually slow down and consider things a little bit deeper. So people are seeing your value. I do think that's a benefit of Gemini. When things start going a little bit too fast and people are getting a little bit ahead of themselves, if people listen to Gemini, you can give them a lot of reasons of other things to consider and also other things to research, which can slow the situation down and can be a very, very beneficial thing. There's a lot of different angles to the Gemini energy. And to me, I think that's one of the benefits. You can get people kind of like a little bit caught up in their own thoughts, which will slow them down, which has a benefit factor to it. The thing is, we don't want to go stagnant, of course. That's a little bit too much, like with anything. Like salt is an enjoyable element. Salt is an enjoyable rock, or whatever you want to call it. Putting salt on food is good. But having not enough salt makes it bland. Having the right amount of salt, it's good. Having too much salt, no. So it's kind of like, but you have the ability to kind of balance it out too. So this is a benefit. People are bringing you into more things, the way you've been handling things. Things seem to be coming in more. They may see you as a one-trick pony. You are not a one-trick pony for sure. But at this point, they may be seeing that. The thing is, going forward, you might have the ability to show more. Infinite abundance, 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 abundance. But there's also the 7 of Pentacles. Possibilities are coming your way. More is coming forward here. The thing is, I feel like you might need a moment to just like reflect at how you got here. What type of ways have you been handling certain things that have been allowing you to move forward as far as you have? And it's kind of like you knowing yourself. And it's like, I say this for myself. This is for anybody, obviously. But when you think about like, all right, when I'm around this person, how do I act? What do I tell? What do I not tell? Do I feel like I'm in control or not control? Do I feel like it's a mix? Like, do I lose myself? Do I forget what I'm doing? And do I say things I shouldn't say? Or do I clam up and not say a thing? And they're saying, reevaluate the situations, how you got here, and your own personality. You know how you act in certain situations. You know how certain things, it's like you get involved in certain situations and the current just takes you away. Other situations, the current isn't as comfortable, so you're a little bit more reserved. When do those typical things happen, and what do you have coming forward that will aid or have a detriment effect on what you're going for? Because they're saying, take this moment to really stop. How did you get here? How do you naturally respond to these certain situations? How do you naturally respond to these certain situations? Doesn't mean you can't override certain things and control them the way you want, but it may be one of those moments like, all right, this is a natural flow for this, how you naturally go. You are good at keeping it in control beyond that, but this is like highlight that you really need to keep control of that in a different way. The energy is really good, very, very positive. But it's like this next level of things coming in is making it more complicated. And I feel like, ironically, even though it's very fun and it's very exciting, that energy you could end up getting taken away with, and just kind of, you might end up things might end up blowing up in your face if you're just not focused and paying attention to how you're reacting to things, because some of this can get really fun, and before I know it, I've said things or I've let something out of the bag that I shouldn't have, and then I'm getting the backlash from it. So they're saying be careful of this because you're doing extremely well. Positive energy, a lot of positive energy is coming in, which can make you very comfortable, but they're saying be careful. Be careful and just be aware of how you handle things. You're doing really good. You want to keep doing really good. Because somebody's coming in and they're really nice, they're really fun, they really like you, but this could be what kind of causes the disruption. This could cause a disruption. It's okay to like them. It's okay to have a good time, but stay on point, stay aware of how you naturally react to certain people, especially if somebody is respecting your intelligence. I feel like this is one of those things. When somebody sees you for the intelligence you actually have, I feel like Gemini is underestimated a lot. I really do. And when somebody respects that and actually sees it, it gets very exciting. And before you know it, you get in conversations, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh boy, I just told 5 different people's secrets and I wasn't even thinking about it. And now that I have done it, I'm like, whoops. Just be careful. Again, you can like that, but be aware of like what the situation calls for. Be aware of like, what's this? Okay, so I got the 7 of Swords and I got the Gates of Triumph. In the past, I keep getting, for a lot of you, there's certain people, like even though you like them, you've had to avoid them to make sure that you don't let the cat out of the bag. It keeps coming back to that, so I hope it doesn't sound rude, because I don't mean it to sound rude, but this is how the energy's going. This might be another one of those people. You like them, they're great, wonderful, but it's like with this, I gotta distance myself. I feel like because I get too excited and I start talking about things. It may be also one of those things where as long as I don't hang out with them too much, we're okay. Once, maybe twice a week tops for like an hour at a time, and then I move on, okay, that's fine too. You know what I mean? I feel like for most of you, you know how things work for you at this situation and this type of energy. They keep trying to bring in this energy. Like, we all have good and bad attributes. Like, there's nobody in this world that's perfect. It's just, you're not going to find it. If you believe it, it's no. I'm just telling you, no. Nobody's perfect. So it's like, it depends on the sign, what works well, what doesn't. Every sign has their ups and downs. So I hope it doesn't sound like there's finger pointing here, because I don't want that. It's just like they're trying to highlight, you're doing so good with this. You're doing great with this. Don't let this backlash on you. Don't let this kind of like come back and, cause detriment where it doesn't need to be. Because I feel like you're enjoying this and they want you to enjoy it. As long as you're aware of it, you can be fine. Because something else is coming down the road, and it's the Temperance card with the Chariot, which these, ironically, as signs, one of them, this one talks about Cancer, this one talks about Sagittarius. It doesn't have to be this type of person coming in, but to me, it's like there's something coming in where something contradictory is going to get in your way, and it's going to have a lot of loyalty factors to it. A lot of like this group mentality, like you're either with us or you're against us type energy. And if people feel like you're, talking about things you shouldn't be talking about, they may see you as an enemy when you're not. They may align against you because of something minimal, and it doesn't need to happen that way, because there's this contradictory energy. This one, the Temperance card, is a good card. The thing is, when it talks about Sag is your opposite, so it's kind of like you may say one thing and they may do something else, and those two energies don't usually match up very well. They get along very well for a short period, and then all of a sudden it blows up. Again, neither energy is bad, but they're not really compatible. You think things out, you think of all the opportunities, you consider this, that, and the other thing. They don't overly think it, they just move. This is do. They're just constantly doing in random directions. Like, you have different random energies, but theirs is an active do. Yours is a think it out, and it's contradictory. So they're saying if you can keep this under control, all this positive energy can stay as long as you're keeping it under control, because when this moment shows up, it might be also somebody pointing out all your shortcomings all at once, and it may be very difficult in that short moment to get past that if other people are like, oh yeah, Gemini told me this, or oh yeah, Gemini told me that and they weren't supposed to, and I heard they told this other person this other thing. So it's like, be aware of it. As long as you're aware of it, you can navigate through this and this doesn't have to be a problem. But if you're not seeing it come forward, this could kind of cause a lot of detriment that you don't want. So the point of this reading is to set you up to see it going, see what's coming, to keep it in line with what you want. You've been doing great and you can continue to do great. There's this added level of ironic pleasure that could actually cause you a lot of problems that you don't want it to cause problems. Enjoy it within respect that you can, but just be aware of it, stay on point with it, and you can be great and you can continue to be happy. I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.